Hello, hi there. Today we are going to make a trifold brochure. I wanted to first make sure everybody looks at the examples and understands the format of a trifold, having an outside and an inside, where the outside, when it is folded, the middle column is the back of the brochure, where typically you would put contact information, an address for a business, or email for a professional. And then the right side of that outside is typically the front of the brochure, where you're going to put an introductory panel. And then this side is hidden until you open up the trifold, at which point this side will be shown and this side will be shown. But you're going to have to unfold this this other side, and these two columns right here are revealed when the trifold is completely open. So think about that prior to designing your trifold. I will be showing you how to make a grid layout on a single page and how to place frames in it, which will allow you to very easily embed your images so that they're perfectly aligned and evenly distributed. This is not the only way to do it. You could make guidelines like this, drag the ruler over and do the math and make sure that those guidelines are right at the spots to determine where your three columns are going to be. But that is not as ideal as what I will show you, because when you do this, you still must align and distribute your images. Another good way to do this is to make a rectangle that is 1/3 of the page size. And that's kind of nice, because then you could use that rectangle to cordon off the three columns, and you will be able to place images and align them on that rectangle using these alignment tools up there. So those are your options. We will have to start off by making a new file. We can go up here and do a new file, or right here and do a new file. I recommend you go to the print tab and reselect that default letter, but that's just because it makes sure that all these are default, and which are ideal for just making an image. But do make sure you click on landscape orientation so that the page is oriented such that we're going to print it with a trifold that is already 8.5 by 11, and it has pre-made folds on it, in this orientation. So to make a grid layout, which is by far the easiest way to do something like this, we are going to go to New Guide Layout, and I'm going to change this to the default so that you can see how it normally pops up, with just rows with a very thin gutter in between each row. What I'm going to do is change that gutter to 60 pixels. It's 3 times as much as what it was, so that I can see it. I like that. That's great. I'm also going to add margins to the brochure. They are 20 pixels, but I want them to be all even, and I do like it when they match the spaces in between the images on the brochure. I think that looks nice. You should just make sure you have margins and that your columns are, you have enough space there so that it looks good the way you like it. So now I have a bunch of rows, but I'm sorry, columns. I need to add some rows. What I'm going to do is actually add a few more than I need. I'm going to add, the last time I did this, I did 6 rows. This time I'm going to add 8 rows. I do want 3 columns. That's the trifold nature of it. So I'm going to say, okay. If you find that you don't, actually, I don't like that. This is a great example. I want the gutters in between my squares to match the gutters in my columns. So let me go back and show you that if you make a mistake and you don't like your guide layout, you will need to clear the guides prior to making a new guide layout, because it just puts the new guide layout right on top of the old one. So clear the guides, go back to view, and make a new guide layout. And so I want to make my gutter on my rose also 60 pixels. Yeah, I like that. Okay, now I will be using the frame tool, which is right here. If you do not have it showing, go up here to search and look. Mine was down here, but since I've been using it a lot lately, it's there now. And I will be able to use that guide layout to make frames. The frames are for where I want to put images. Actually, I want these to be square frames. I was making a circle frame, and so I'll put a frame there. I'll put a frame here. And there. And then, you know, I could do whatever I want here. I think I'm going to make it look like this. This is why I gave myself this flexibility. So now I have a spot for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images. Bueno. This is the frame that's currently selected. Let me look at my layers panel. See, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames. This is why I recommend this, because it's going to be so easy now for us to go to File, Place Embedded, and grab our images that we want to add. I think that's a student image, so I'm not going to open it up. My panning shot. And so it will make that image an appropriate size. Actually, I don't think I like this image for such a tall image, so I'm going to place that image right there. Yeah, so what I like about it is it automatically scales it down. You can then hit that move tool and make your image larger or smaller and move it around a little bit. Move it. But, okay, well, yeah, I got to be able to tell that that's a panning shot. That's how you could tell right there. Cool. And then enter. All right, now that I have my frames laid out, I actually can go up to view and clear the guides so I can see how nice it looks. And let me go to my background and add a nice fill. You could do a solid color gradient pattern or embed an image in the background, but it just makes it look nice. Okay. Okay. And so here's just a little look at what I've been doing with my Fisherman's Wharf brochure. I have an image here that has a fancy frame on it and text. I said for this assignment, each image should have a fancy frame or text. So these have both. You can do either or. Let me show you how to make this happen. Oh, wrong. There we go. Okay, so here's my image that I just placed. I can now put a frame on it by adding a stroke or doing a beveled edge on it. But before it's going to allow me to do that, like if I go up right now to layer style and try to, you know, add a layer style, it's not letting me. I will need to, I'm going to make a smart object out of this. Once I make a smart object out of it, it's now just a frame, and I will be able to go to the layer and I don't want to rename the layer. I want to add a layer style, add a stroke. It's a little frame on it. I don't know what. And make it big enough to see. Okay, cool. Nice little green frame. Convert to smart object. And now I'm going to go to my frame I already made and copy the layer style and go to, no boy, where's oh, there it is. And paste that layer style. And voila, it looks like all the others. A Coast Guard tug. I think I want to find out what the font size is there. 22.13, no me gusta. I'll just make that 22 so I can click on this one, and also gotta hit on the text tool there and change that one to 22 also. And then copy that layer style from the other, from Moonlight over Presidio. Copy layer style. A Coast Guard tug. Paste layer style. Wow! I don't know why lorem ipsum's hanging out. Delete, delete. All right, so I think that's all you guys need to know. We're gonna go up here and we're gonna do a save as. When I first made this document, I should have, saved it in the cloud. But now that I'm done with this, I'm really happy that I'll be saving it on my computer. This is so I can turn it in. We saved to cloud documents while we're working, and I'm going to save that as a Photoshop PDF. Make sure that it's saved somewhere where you will be able to find it, like I save my stuff in documents, and that way you can turn it in. And you will want to attach 2 PDFs to the assignment, one for the inside and one for the outside.